Well, Brad, out of all of the stuff that you post on your social media, my favorite wasn't like the heartfelt thank you card written by your son or like a tribute to your wife or new music. I watched this 1,000 times.
Oh man, well, you and the entire planet. That's my son is trying to get famous on the internet. He's like, so all I need to do is smack my head on a door in order to get likes. I'm like, apparently
Yep.
3.5 million on TikTok, and I sure don't know how to dance on TikTok, but that one worked.
Yeah, it was like the Walker Hayes of like injuries.
Yeah, I know.
What like
So weird.
what is this? Is this a limo or something?
Yeah, that's a big, ugly yellow limo that I hate with a passion. It I was hired by Ashley Home Store to be kind of the tour guide for a bunch of influencers like fashion bloggers and
Okay.
I do a lot of like home stuff now, so interior design, just girls in that world. So anyway, but the video they wanted as we pulled up to this next venue was obviously all the influencers getting out of the limo. So I said, hey, I'll quickly jump out ahead of time and then you can get the shot. Well, I quickly jumped and just smoked my head on that door, and the videographer was already rolling, so it was all perfectly horrible.
Just because you watch the video and you're like, wow, what a beautiful car. Oh God. Oh, I mean, on repeat. I shared it 1,000 times.
And
You talk,
Shania Twain was playing in the limo when I got out.
that's
So
right. That's right. That's so funny. Well, among other things that you've posted, like I said, we love to follow you here at Windsor's Country. It was very exciting to see High Valley's name next to Alison Krauss's name. It just was like, if they're thinking like a Mount Rushmore of country, and of course, obviously big influence on your life growing up. She's part of the deluxe version of your Way Back album, due out later this spring. So she's on the song Do This Life, which we'll get to in a second. But the backstory kind of reminded me of how this came together. It reminded me of like going to your friend's house after school and like the mom's in the kitchen. She makes you a snack. So did Allison make you and her son bagel bites or grilled cheese? What was it?
it was a fried chicken casserole is actually what it was in a crock pot. It's basically like fried chicken, but instead of having the cornflakes or whatever mixture attached to the chicken, you have like rice, and then you have the chicken, and then you have the cornflakes, and then you have the spices, and then you have more chicken and more rice, and it just keeps going. Other than my wife's home cooking this last couple of years, I would say I've definitely had more home cooked meals by Alison Krauss than anybody else. But way more importantly, I've just got to know her, got to be her friend, friend of the family, obviously, and she's just so great. And for whatever reason, she was kind enough to be like, "Man, I love your voice, and I love this album, and my favorite song is Do This Life." And she just kind of kept on bringing it up, and I, of course, told her how much of a fan I was of her music and how I proposed to my wife, literally proposed to my wife with an Alison Krauss song called When You Say Nothing at All. And we talked about doing a song together, and it happened. I mean, I'm probably more shocked than anybody else to see us up there together, but she's so sweet and her voice is incredible. And I may have cried a tiny little bit the first time I heard her singing on it, because it was just it was a real shock
A
for me.
manly cry, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a muscular tear.
You just flicked it away.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question for someone that's worked with multiple people. In that scenario, though, did it ever even cross your mind to say to your bandmate, "You think she'll do something with us?" Or just no, like I'm not going to ask like a famous country artist like Allison to do anything. I'm not going to cross that line.
Yeah, they do a really good job as a family of keeping family and music separate. Honestly, the same way that I try and do with my kids and their buddies coming over. Music never has anything to do with that part of our life. So I try to be very careful about that. And when I started becoming friends with Allison, the last thing I wanted to do is, hey, Allison, can we do a duet? So when it naturally evolved of her expressing you know, which songs she loved. It was cool because there's, I can't remember, 11, 12, 13 songs on the Way Back record. And we knew Country Music Girls in Trucks was a single. We knew Whatever It Takes was a single, but we honestly did not know. We're not one of those bands that plans it out like 2 years ahead of time, which singles are going to drop when. So basically, she forced this one to be the next single, and she could have told me that "Happy Birthday" was our next single, and I probably would have done that. It's
Hey,
all good.
I'll listen to her sing the phone book if that was still
Yeah,
existed.
exactly.
Now, is do this and again, are we do we know, do we have a date for the deluxe edition? Is that
We don't have a date, but I know we're 99% done, so it'll be
okay?
pretty soon. I think this spring.
Now, is Do This Life based on a dream? Do you often write songs about dreams that you have?
I always write songs about thoughts that I have, but usually I'm awake when I'm having them. And yeah, this is very loosely based on an actual dream. I'd be lying if I told you I had much memory of the dream, but I do remember walking into this co-write and starting with that opening line. And you always have an idea, and your buddies are either going to say, "That's pretty weird," or they're going to say, "Yeah, man, let's rock with that." And thankfully, Phil and Dwayne, they both were like, "Let's go for it." And so it was a fast co-write. It was we kind of knew right away that it felt really natural, and it felt like a hit. Obviously, we didn't know that we were going to get this huge bonus on it with Allison, but it's been cool for me and the co-writers too, especially Phil Barton. He's been my buddy. He's from Australia. He's just once you know Phil, you love Phil. Everybody does, and everybody in this town knows him. And we've been writing together. One of our first High Valley hits way back in the day was called "Let It Be Me," and that was a song with Phil. So it's been cool to just kind of keep working with them.
So, would you say that you've hit your quota of like dream collabs? Allison, Ricky, Skaggs. I'm sure you probably have like a list, but was that like that's top tier?
Yeah, in the most non braggy way, I would literally say my absolute top two favorite male and female vocalists of all time. I've now been able to record with both of them, so I do not have anybody else on any list.
Wow.
Which is you're the first person who's asked me. That's pretty weird to say out loud, but it's maybe I'll retire. Maybe this is my last interview right here.
The last one. Go buy that limo.
Yeah, I
Put that
know.
around.
I know.
I love it. Well, we are super excited. Obviously, it's like I said, you see Alison Krauss, and it's just country royalty, and we love High Valley so much. So we're really excited. I do want to ask you about this before you go. Is Jennifer Wayne, Runaway June, you're teaming up for that new series on the Design Network called Flip You. Do we have an
Yeah.
air date for that yet?
We don't have an air date because maybe because Jen and I have done too much construction. We're like, hey, you cannot guarantee people when these houses are going to be done. So I can tell you that the next 3 days we're filming every day. We're going to check out some kitchens and some new paint, and the three houses we're working on right now are all moving along quite well. But you never know with construction; something could go wrong. So we're aiming to have it out later this year, but we'll definitely be posting about it and letting people know. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's called Flip You. We're the professors. All these people flipping these houses are our students, and they're either going to pass or fail. So we'll see how it goes.
Really cool. And actually, the very first interview I did when I flipped formats to country was with your brother.
Yeah,
And he was doing some stuff with Ashley Home Store back then. You guys were. I think they like
yeah.
redesigned your homes or something. And it's just so funny that now you're on a house flipping show. It was in 2019 when I talked to him, by the way. So I'm just like, wow, that's a pretty full circle moment.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
happened
very,
pretty
very cool.
fast. We got, as you do, you get kind of all these cool opportunities. Literally thanks to you guys. People play you on the radio, and all of a sudden people want to give you free couches and dining room chairs. So it works out good. But we're doing this kind of stuff, and then I had built this cottage at the Ridge, is what it's called, and this show called Celebrity Homes Unlocked approached me and said, could you be on an episode? So all I had to do was tour them around the cottage, and it was a really cool little one and done episode. And it was on the Design Network, and they called me a few months later and said, would you consider hosting a TV show for us? And I was like, never thought of that, but yes, I would. And they asked if my wife would be my co-host, and I asked Rebecca, and she said, not a chance on earth would I ever do that. So they said, can you think of any other female that would be into real estate? And I knew Jen had been on The Amazing Race a couple times, and of course her grandpa is John Wayne, so she's pretty familiar with TV. And Jen and I, much like tons of other musicians backstage, we don't just talk about music all the time. We talk about whatever we're into, and she's big into flipping houses, so it was a natural fit.
I think your wife just didn't want to work with you, not be on TV.
That's the understatement of the year right there.
Yeah, I can't work with you, honey. Well, I know we don't have that much time, but I thought we would play a game today.
Yes, I was hoping you'd have one.
It's called Flip It Real Good. No,
nice.
I forgot that you grew up Mormon.
So, Mennonite.
I'm so sorry, Mennonite. And so it's movie and TV houses flipped upside down, and you have to guess like what movie.
Oh man,
but I made them like quite like they're iconic. Okay, so let's see if you can. This is from a movie.
Upside down. Home Alone.
Yes. Where's my bell? Okay, see, I knew I picked ones. I'm like, he's got to know these ones. He's got to know those ones. Okay, we're playing Flip It Real Good with REMPEL. I have to make sure it's upside down. TV show.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Good. Okay. Whew. I was like,
I did hear TV. We were not allowed to watch Fresh Prince when we did get TV, but we were allowed to watch Family Matters. So there you go.
Wonder what the difference was. Okay, this is a movie.
I can't. I mean, I don't know. Frozen?
No, it's Hogwarts.
That I have not seen.
Oh, you haven't seen any Harry Potter?
No.
Your kids were into it?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
We just pretty much watch NFL.
Yeah, I don't, or hockey. I don't doubt it. Okay, let's do one more. It's called Flip It Real Good. Whose house is this?
Oh man, that looks like Brad Rempel's house. That's Curtis up there, and my cousin Chris, and our dogs Lacey and Sheba, I believe. Yeah.
I forgot what video I stole this from. Like, I gotta find his house to do this game.
Yeah, that's grew up on that, I think.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And my sister actually bought that house and moved, so I've got to keep going there. It's pretty cool.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's always a pleasure. Now that the pandemic is winding down, we hope that there's a shot to see High Valley and Windsor one day in our neck of the woods.
Absolutely. We can't wait. We got our toes dipped in the water a little bit last year with going back out live, and I just need my kids to chill a little bit. We're going to like 10 different states in the next few weeks, and it's all for sports. So whenever they take a weekend off, I'll come up to Windsor and play a show. That's
all right. You're being a good dad. That's where you need to be. Just watch your head. Okay. Today.
I will.
Watch the noggin.
Yeah, I will.
Take care, Brad.
Hey, thank you so much. This is awesome.